So passion plus preparation is equal to performance, and we often see people, people feel that they are passionate about something, but they are not doing much about it. Without preparation and sacrifice, passion does not yield much. When preparing or going becomes tough, our passion can push us through. Otherwise, we may give up easily, which I have shown you during the whole thing. So it takes both on mega missions, passion and preparation. Passion is proven by sacrifice, which means sacrifice other things, prepare hard. When you're well prepared, your optimism is natural. You're not prepared, you can't fake it till you make it. I mean, there is no such thing. Avalanche is coming towards you, what will you prepare? What will you fake? Action 2, as I mentioned, this is also, I've taken a picture of the ladder only. Our actions depend on our focus. Both negatives and positives are always present. Where we choose to focus determines how we act. This is a key line. Please review this in your mind. Where we choose to focus determines how we act. If there is one thing in life all of us know very well about, it's this one. There are very delicate and dangerous phases where danger lurks everywhere except the few inches we can step on. If our focus is sharp enough to see only the safe spot and ignore the rest, we can move onwards. Otherwise, we will freeze or fall. The power of our focus can lead us out of the most difficult circumstances. So it's a key learning, and it's something which is like every single day, right from your morning walks to what to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, who to meet, who to not meet. Everything is a question of, what are we thinking about. I had shared this earlier, scale need not share you. This is a photograph of the Everest from Camp 3. Now you can see, does it look like something which we will be climbing tomorrow night and you will be there on the top of that summit within the next, sort of 36 hours? So when we are facing a massive and complex task like Everest, one can't afford to be afraid of scale. This positive mindset is crucial at the beginning of the project and all the way through till the end. The scale of it should enthuse you, not deter you. Obviously, as we know, no guts, no glory. One step at a time. Again, the most common, there is nothing brand new that I'm saying really, focus, one step at a time, scale, this, that, and the other. But I think when you internalize it in a context of an expedition like Mount Everest, then they become, in my book I've called them brain tattoos. And it is something which happens all the time. I do some projects and I do my work, and even writing this book, I wrote another book after that on scaling small businesses. It takes 2-3 years to write a book. But you keep going, and one step at a time, somehow you get there. So a big task seems difficult till you break it down into smaller steps. Common sense, everybody knows it. We all keep getting reminded about it. Once the steps are decided, one needs to keep putting one step ahead of the other. You can walk, run, or crawl, but you need to keep moving forward, and that alone can lead to success. I want to share one more little sort of math around what I figured out there. And on any larger, longer mission, I think the phase between 40 to 80% of that mission is the critical period when a lot of things are deterring you from moving forward. In the beginning you're very enthusiastic, you're very energetic, and you keep going, and sort of that momentum of enthusiasm and excitement carries you through. 40% of it is over and you are nearly dead, and then you look at this thing and this is too far, this is too much left, this is like only, this is way too far away. And I think that is the time which filters out the doers from the talkers. Because the talkers at that time start to look for excuses. Oh, my stomach is not well, the Sherpa is not good, the rope is not good, the arrangements are not good, I'm going to go back. I saw all those things happen there. And I think at that phase, if you just put your head down and say one step, stop evaluating all the time. Evaluation has to be spaced out. It can't be a constantly, because there are phases when you just have to do it. Just do it. I mean, that whole Nike line is a very powerful line, to be honest. But then what happens if you carry through this phase, and then by and by you reach the 70-80% kind of mark. And then all of a sudden you're energized again, because now it seems very achievable, now it seems very doable. Because now it's like within reach, now it's not so intimidating anymore. So that one step at a time philosophy is very important to remember on anything long, complicated, intimidating, difficult, that it is not about how you will gobble up the whole thing in one shot. You will not. You can't. So expect the unexpected. I gave you enough examples. Everest taught me that unexpected things can happen at any time. This is when I'm sitting waiting for the oxygen cylinder. This photograph is I've actually almost taken a selfie. And by the way, to take all these pictures, take off your mitten, take off your internal glove, quickly take a photograph, put it back in 15 seconds and chuck the phone back into your, because it's -30, -35, you don't want to get frost bites. So all these pictures have to be taken like super quick. And the phone, most of it is on the phone after base camp, so it has to be near your body to keep warm, to let the battery stay. So Everest taught me unexpected things can happen anytime to do with weather, people or equipment. We saw all the examples. We saw the weather example at the end. We saw the people example, the main guide going away, the Sherpas running away, and so many other wicked things happen which I don't have the time to talk about. And equipment, of course. It can threaten your life or limb. You can't have a plan B for them because they are unexpected. What lets you overcome such danger is a calm approach to trouble. I will speak about it with one more lesson, which is the next one. It's a little bit of a oxymoron, if you like, make friends with fear. What do you really mean, So what I mean really is, if you think about it, all the complex missions, business, student, motherhood, is about managing risk. And if you broadly divide risk, what are the two broadest categories you can do? Known risk, unknown risk. So known risk is the part where we say make friends with fear. So the risks that are known, like we were aware that you can have oxygen running out. You are aware that certain things can go wrong. Those are not the things to say, oh, हमारे साथ तो होगा नहीं, देख लेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा. That's bullshit. क्या देख लोगे आप? What will you देख लेंगे? Right? So there is no such thing as not being scared. You have to be scared of what is realistically a threat. And being scared of a threat doesn't mean you're about to give up. That only means that you are going to be very robust in your preparation. You're going to be error-free. You're going to be like leaving no stone unturned because you are aware of it. And on Everest, yes, you are a little bit more serious because you know it very well that it can cost you your life. But the threats can't be ignored or wished away. They have to be accepted, prepared for, and actions taken as required. And the other part of the risk, the unknown part of the risk, are within the purview of the lesson 5, which is expect the unexpected, because these are known, these are things which you don't know can happen. So that ability to believe that something will happen now and then, and when it happens, it is expecting the unexpected. So therefore, I am not going to be thrown off balance. Therefore, I am not going to give up. And I will not waste time in cursing whoever else and blaming somebody else. I'm going to put all my energy, every speck of blood in my body will fight that problem. Because I already knew something can go wrong. And when they go wrong, then you fight it out. There's no point, left, right, and why did this happen to me? मेरा किस्मत खराब है, मेरा whoever teacher खराब है, parents खराब है, manager खराब है. होते हैं खराब. I'm not saying खराब नहीं है, but that's a part of the deal. That's the lay of the land you're navigating. Nobody owes us something very easy to say, okay, you know what, we'll keep jhadu maring your path and you please come and go climb the Everest or climb whatever else you want to climb. Not going to happen like that. So make friends with fear. And the last one, this one I added later on after the first few talks happened and people were like, what's your message to students and anybody else? So this is pretty much the last lesson. And I realized there, I gave you the example of this. What do I mean by time is oxygen? So time in life, for all of us, is the most limited resource. We all know that very well. On Everest, there is a physicality to it because there are 6 cylinders of oxygen. And when you leave for the summit that night, you have 3 cylinders on your, total 3. And after that, no amount of money, no amount of power, nothing can get you more. It's between you and the mountain, it's your 3 cylinders, and if you are waiting around too long, you're looking around, you're resting too much, oxygen तो चल रहा है. So in life also time तो चल रहा है बाबा. आपको इधर उधर देखने का, time waste करने का, time तो चल रहा है. So at some point the oxygen will run out, and if you are not back to camp by that time, well, on Mount Everest there are no second chances. It's only the consequential discipline of whatever you didn't do. And the consequential discipline on Mount Everest can mean the cost of your life. But I think there is a cost to all of those things in life too, which we don't realize because they happen in micro steps. You suddenly don't die by missing an appointment or by missing a deadline. But something else dies, the opportunities die, the ability to believe in yourself that you will do what you committed to do no matter what dies, because you get a little bit easy about it. क्या है यार, कल को चले जाएंगे, हो जाएगा, देख लेंगे types, you know. All of this nonsense about work-life balance. I mean, you know, there is a work-life, I'm not saying there's no work-life balance. But that doesn't give you a license to be easy going about things. Because time is oxygen and there is a fixed amount of oxygen, you know, I'm just reading it out from this book now. Every climber has on Everest, and you know, once we are above 8,000 meters in the death zone, even if we are not moving, oxygen is running. We need to keep going and reach camp before oxygen runs out. In life, the clock is ticking regardless of what we are doing. Time in life is like oxygen on Everest. We have a fixed amount and it keeps moving even if we are not. That's my last slide. I'm using a quote from some very important people. To push oneself within a wisp of death and return to the valley in the world below is to see life in its raw immediacy. Now when you say, okay, what did you learn? How did it change you because you went to Everest, etc.? I think how it changes you is to modify your relationship with risk, modify your relationship with uncertainty, modify your relationship with yourself, because you've actually passed certain tests which you saw, and therefore now you have the confidence यार कुछ भी आएगा कर लेंगे यार, हम कर लेंगे, deal हो जाएगा. Have that, you know, what I call incorrigible optimism to say, you know, I can deal with it, I'll do it, you know, something will happen. And this last line, I think you can read, I hope, but I'll read it out for you. Usually we think that brave people have no fear. The truth is that they are intimate with fear. Thank you very much, dear friends.